makeup, dress up in black, and look like the living dead. But they're not real-life vampires stalking the night.
Hey everybody, this video is inspired by Mr. Unknown. This is the very thing that he needs to say. I have a point that I feel would be useful to your crowd, especially your more youthful crowd. That point being reality with regards to Elective Ladies, also known as alt young ladies, Gothots. By alt ladies, I'm talking explicitly about young ladies who had a place, dressed and credited to the style of all of these specific subculture gatherings. Goths, emos, scene children, underground rockers, metalheads, and less significantly, and all the more as of late, fashionable person tramps, scene ladies, ravers, and club floozies. This was advocated to some extent by such entertainers as Fairuza Shy and Helena Bonham Carter. Growing up and going to grade in secondary school in the early 2000s, and later in school, this specific variety of floozy was various and very normal. They were constantly described by their multi-shaded or dyed blonde spiky or other particular haircuts, their proclivity for tight, torn thin pants or trap jeans, cowhide or denim coats, checked ears, facial piercings, dim hued lipstick or eyeliner, beat-up Vans or Banter tennis shoes, and followed peculiar pseudo-tense figures like Jack Skellington or Marilyn Manson. They generally had a scornful, indifferent, make a respectable attempt restlessness about themselves. Subsequent to being engaged with a few of these young ladies in both short and long-haul connections, as well as knowing a considerable lot of them all through my life, I have reached a few decisions about them, as well as admonitions to any young fellows out there. To put it gruffly, reality with regards to alt young ladies is that they are effectively a portion of the most exceedingly terrible, if not the most terrible ladies out there, even by the norms of the present Western ladies. They are all constantly gigantic chameleons who required a gathering to squeeze into. Most didn't actually have the foggiest idea or care about the music or craft of their subculture, yet essentially needed more consideration than the typical ladies, by being one of a handful of the females in their scene. They would frequently bounce starting with one subculture bunch then onto the next, relying upon which one was more restless or famous. They had tremendous pools of beta orbiters, as these subculture bunches would in general be loaded with effectively controlled beta male suckers, only glad to offer them consideration, figuring they would luck out when the hero or chad they were banging became ill of them. Frequently acting much more scandalous than the typical young lady, the not many that I figured out how to take to bed in any case, or nothing exceptional, never worth the standby or loops I needed to go through. I had a few companions in those days who were along the beta and a front range who totally spouted over these sorts of ladies. I accept on the grounds that they thought these ladies are introducing something else, and one of a kind, mercilessly draining their consideration and faking companionships with these folks. Rather than through and through overlooking them like a preppy teen promoter type young lady. To the beta guys, these ladies would gather. They put off the energy of being entirely feasible when actually these ladies actually thought it around with the athletes, chads, tyrones, and terrible young men. They involved the betas for simple consideration. A significant number of these ladies would follow the young men in their gatherings to live performances or raves subtly expecting to connect with the demigods and deities. I accept these ladies had a profound hatred of themselves. From what I've noticed, these ladies would in general be genuinely alluring, drifted in the 6 or 7 territory, and were nevertheless not yet very appealing enough or were maybe excessively abnormal or dorky to acknowledge into the clubs of the most famous preppy young ladies. They were disposed of from these coteries around the hour of secondary school, when the most alluring and famous young ladies, by and large, settled in gatherings and ordered progressions. Thus, they became emotional or goth as to peevishly conceal any hint of failure, and carried on like they decided not to be well known, concealing the truth that they were rejects. In the soul of contradicting some common norms and being nonconformity, large numbers of these ladies turned into the woke women's activist beasts we see watching and policing online entertainment and male web spaces today. A large number of them presently imply and participate in claiming to appreciate computer games, sci-fi and non-comic books to watch male discourse and action, and snap significantly additional consideration from the weak blue pill men who took part in these exercises. Presently 2 years into priest mode, where I really approach looking for a sweetheart or travel once more into the past to my high school years and date, I would much prefer pick the preppy teen promoter airhead type over the old young lady. As far as I can tell, they never profess to partake in similar films, leisure activities, or music as me. Well, Mr. Mysterious, I likewise encountered such ladies back in 1994 and 95 in secondary school, as well as one specifically in the last part of the 90s in craftsmanship school. I'm not groveling out when I say this, however. She disliked the wide range of various goth young ladies. She was female, cruised all over in an exemplary 1950s funeral car that she actually has and even deals with made under study gore movies. Engaged in coordinating zombie strolls, and she did all that not to dazzle a person but rather in light of the fact that she really enjoys that style. Right up till now, she actually lives opposite a graveyard, and her Christmas embellishments are basically her reviewing Halloween ones with Goliath skeletons that just seem to be the bad dream before Christmas. The neighbors gripe about it all the time. However, the city can't make any difference either way. She likewise gathers Beast toys and plays the theremin. Assuming I start that webcast featuring the three-step dance, I would surely have her on. She additionally had sleeve tattoos before anybody had them back during the 90s, with the exception of potentially crooks. She was good to be near and has the characteristics that I've distinguished in ladies that head out in a different direction, including imagination, knowledge, being productive, working at their art for 60 to 80 hours every week, being creative or inventive, attempting new things, and flirting with disappointment and humiliation. I recognized all that in her. In any case, measurably the vast majority of goth or emotional young ladies won't be like her, so you obviously got all the awful copycat ones. That is all there is to it for now. Remember to crush the like button the way that I wouldn't crush a tall and sloppy looking goth dance with smaller than normal recollections, regardless of whether you paid me to. Bang the bell in gratitude for taking your day-to-day portion of red pills. Recall a red pill daily keeps the young ladies shrouded in facial tattoos that take on the appearance of zombie teen promoters away. Partake in the remainder of your day and good wishes.